Good evening, folks. Welcome to yet another episode of the Oz Cro Soccer Show. And we are powering through these episodes in 2022. Good evening, dobro večer, dobrodošli, welcome. My name is Tonči Prusac, and the man sporting the Svi znaju, a nemaju pojma t-shirt, hot off the press, is Josip Zilic. Josipe, man, I've never thought I'd say this, but you're looking very, very smart tonight.
Thank you very much, Tonči, and dobrodošli to our viewers tonight. In honor of one of our favourite guests that we had on the show a few weeks back, Željko Spider Kalac, and his fantastic phrase that he popped out on that night. It resonated with both of us, so I thought it was deserving of this T-shirt, mate.
Basically, for those of you that are uninitiated, who don't know what the hell are we doing and what the hell are we talking about, Josip, explain what he basically said. Yeah,
let's sort of reflect back on that show where the question to Spider on the night was, if an aspiring player was to come up from Australia and look for a gig in the Division 2, 3 type leagues in Croatia, would it be something he'd recommend? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. So that led on us to ask, what about a developing coach, someone who's trying to break into a more serious gig? And he said, no, I wouldn't recommend it because svi znaju, a nemaju pojma, which would roughly translates to saying, look, they all know everything, but they've got no bloody clue.
They know F all. Anyway, here's a little bit of that footage. Let's take a trip down memory lane to that episode with the legendary Željko Spider Kalac.
Here in Croatia, everyone's Mourinho. Oni svi znaju, a nemaju pojma. Nemaju pojma.
Yeah.
I love his candid nature. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Željko Kalac, he is an absolute legend of Sydney, Croatia, Sydney United. And tonight, Josip, we're going to be talking with royalty down at Sydney United, or up at Sydney United, depending on which part of Australia you're from, I suppose. Yeah, actually, you're on the Gold Coast. I'm in Victoria. Sydney is kind of the middle zone tonight. Right. And big news at hand. The draw of the Australia Cup round of 32 has just concluded. And, mate, you've got it, all the news hot off the press. Who has Sydney United, the only Croatian-Australian side left in the, I was going to say FFA Cup, the Australia Cup? Who have they drawn?
Look, Sydney United, I think, will be pretty happy with this draw because they've drawn whose second-place team in the NPL ACT, Monaro Panthers. So it will be a hotly contested event. And they're going to be coming to Edensor Park to take on Sydney United. So, I think Miro and Adrian, who we'll speak with a little bit later, will be chomping at the bit at that contest coming their way.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we'll get all the latest. A little later in the show, all the latest information, details from Miro Vlastelica and Adrian Vlastelica as well. And stay around for that. That's going to be damn awesome. And we've got a lot of news to get through. Lots been happening. An amazing amount of news, good news, bad news, and anything in between has been happening as well. We're going to take a very, very quick break. When we return, it's time for the Australian-Croatian soccer scene up here on the Oz Cro Soccer Show, folks. Don't go away.
Cro Imports brings you the finest taste of Croatian beer, spirits and wine. Let your taste buds feel the years of nurtured produce and years of experience in producing some of the best beer and wines from Croatia. Established over 10 years ago and importing various wines, spirits and beers from Croatia, we stock the following products: Osječko pivo, Staro Češko and Velebitsko beers, all naturally crafted brews. We carry a wide range of shortcut spirits, which is renowned for top quality and has won numerous awards for its traditionally produced spirits. Some of these include Šljiva, Viljamovka, Kajsije, Višnja, Orahovac and Medovača. We also have wines ranging from the Ilok region in Slavonia, Belje wines from the Danube region, Malvazija from Istra, and the Palihnic branded Plavac Mali and Poship wines from the Dalmatian coast. Our mission is simple: to ensure that quality, unique and reasonably priced Croatian goods can be enjoyed right here in Australia. We also cater for special gift packs for customers, be they birthdays, christenings, weddings, etc. It's easy to order online, or you can telephone us to arrange a special package. Visit our website at www.ozcro.com.au, like our Facebook page Oz Cro Imports, or you can contact us by calling 0419 44 55 18 or email sales@ozcro.com.au.
Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show. Sorry,
yes. No, I was going to say, before we do go any further with the news desk, some latest news regarding Oz Cro Imports. They've run out of beer, Croatian beer, unfortunately. And with the exorbitant cost of freight at the moment, Juro Frček does assure me they've got tons and tons of rakija in stock and some wine as well. Unfortunately, the beer is at the moment, it's just ridiculous. Like
the beer's on ice.
Our beers are on ice at the moment. Maybe all the beers are being diverted to the Adriatic coast. They're expecting a bumper tourist season over there. And if anyone is tuning in from Croatia, you know, lucky you guys over there. And there is a mini exodus, I think, being executed as we speak. But anyway, mate, let's stay to the Australian-Croatian news. What is going on? Let's start off with
in the Sunshine State. Brisbane Knights had a nice return to form, a solid 4-0 win over New Farm United. The 7th place Knights go take on Annerley, who sit in 9th place this week. So good luck to the Brisbane Knights there. The women still remain on top of the ladder despite a bye last week, and they headed to this week's clash with 5th placed Holland Park. Over at Gold Coast Knights, it was an excellent day out there, Tonchi, on the weekend. I had my in-laws up visiting this week, took them out all day long, juniors, NPL, which led into the seniors. It's an all-day gala event. I was there from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, mate. Went to Mass, walked over 50 metres, watched the juniors all day, spent all day there watching. And then the big battle between Gold Coast Knights and Queensland Lions with a 1-1 draw. So Queensland Lions sit on top of the ladder, very strong outfit. Despite them going down to 10 men, Gold Coast Knights had a few chances to extend their lead. They did score courtesy of a beautiful free kick by former Melbourne Knight Ante Poljak. And unfortunately, Queensland Lions found their way back into the game early in the second half, and the scores remained 1-1. We'll head over to New South Wales, mate. Newcastle with in the 3rd division team, a mammoth result here, mate.
Goodness me, what happened there?
I don't know if the other team showed up.
Well, look, 16-0, is that an under-7 scoreline or something? My goodness me.
It's
well done to Castle Croatia. Well done.
But look, remaining on top of the ladder, they've got a massive goal difference over Hamilton Azuri now. And on Tuesday night, they also took on Madawi, won 4-1. A couple of new signings, including Bo McDonald, who's a rural live wire, and including a special celebration there for one of the new signings as well. I saw on a video clip during the day today. On the weekend, they're off to Cardiff City. The all-age guys, though, that they defeated Nelson Bay 3-0, and they continue their hot streak. They face 3rd place Bulwarra this week.
Surely they're not going to Wales, are they? Cardiff City. Not the Cardiff
No.
City.
You know what? If you get a chance to travel in the Newcastle region, you go to Cardiff City. It does not represent anything to do like Wales.
With Wales.
I don't know where they got the name for Cardiff City for this part of Newcastle, but anyway. Dalmatia Sydney, the Dellies as they're referred to, Willoughby Dellies, in their North Sydney comp. Second place, Dalmatia defeated North Sydney 4-2, and this week they go up against Chatswood. Sydney United, who we'll catch up with a little bit later in the show, they had themselves a 3-3 draw in a closed-door affair with Rockdale. I think that might be the last closed-door affair with Rockdale. I hope so, anyway, for the fans' sake.
Yeah.
And for the players. It's important for the players to have the fans around. But we'll catch up with Miro and Adrian a little bit later in the show, talk a little bit through that game, plus their upcoming Sydney Olympic clash this Sunday. So the old foe, Sydney Olympic. They've got their local cup match against Bonnyrigg in the semi-finals there. That's coming up on 6th of July. Plus, as we just heard before, the round of 32 in the Australia Cup, Monaro Panthers coming their way. So it's all happening at Edensor Park, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle in because it's going to be a joyful ride. The Sydney United women under the Edensor Park banner, or should I say the Edensor Park women under the Sydney United banner, the 11th place girls team up against AC United this week. I have no scores from their federation to post though. We'll go over to the southwest into Hurstville. They are home to Parramatta this week. They're coming off a rare loss to Hawkesbury. They dropped to 4th spot, and they'll be really keen to pick themselves up and get back into their contention for those top spots again. And if form's anything to go by, and the people we've spoken to with the Go-Gros over the journey, mate, I'm sure they'll turn themselves around. Over the South Coast United, Tonchi, it's been a few weeks in a row now they're playing games without being washed out. So thankfully,
that is good news.
that's where the good news ends, unfortunately. They went down 3-0 to Albion Park, White Eagles. They need points real quickly if they want to pick themselves up off the bottom of the table there. They're up against Winona this week. So good luck, South Coast United. We'll go over to the nation's capital. Tonchi, do you have a little film clip that you've seen during the week from O'Connor? From a little
we lost you.
You there, mate?
What happened there?
I'm
Hello?
there. I'm there. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah. I can hear him. I might drop out.
Looks like for whatever reason, I've frozen on my end. So not too sure what's going on. I'm going to try and reboot from my end. Okay, are we back on air?
I can hear you, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. For some reason, my main screen just froze, but I think we're still going at it. We're still at it. Okay.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah, so what was the last thing you talked about?
We got to the ACT, and we're going to have a look at a little Romeo Ivancic's little interview.
Let's see if we can play that. Okay.
Yep.
Welcome to Knights TV. What is your name?
ROMEO IVANCIC.
What age grades do you play for?
Under 7s.
What are your hobbies and interests outside of football?
I don't know.
What do you do besides playing football?
Just train for the game on Saturdays.
The games on Saturdays, okay. What do you see yourself doing when you grow up?
I just see myself playing football.
Okay. And what are your strengths on the field? What do you do good?
I pass, score.
Okay. And who's your favourite O'Connor Knights teammate?
Me,
No, who's your favourite teammate? Can't be you.
Peter.
And why do you love playing for the O'Connor Knights?
Because it's a Croatian team and it's the best team in the world. No one ever beats it.
Thank you, ROMEO IVANCIC.
Oh,
Yeah.
how adorable.
Anyone running a club, if they could just play that last few seconds about it, I love my club. It's the best club in the world. That's what we want. They want kids to say that about their clubs.
Oh,
Love it.
mate. How old is he? 7? Or he plays
7.
in the other 7s? But the best is when he goes, I pass, I score. That is absolutely
What a
adorable.
ripper.
I'm gonna nominate that for the most adorable clip, and a big shout out to everyone at O'Connor Knights and O'Connor Knights TV. That was absolute gold. We will play that before the end of the show. But yeah, that is absolutely brilliant. Well done to young Romeo and everyone out there at O'Connor Knights. That is exactly what we want to be seeing from all of our clubs. That is, I'm speechless.
Well, speaking of O'Connor Knights, the women's table-topping 5th Division Knights, courtesy of a forfeit, received a 3-0 win over Molonglo, and this week they take on Lanyon. The men, unfortunately, had a 2-0 loss to Monaro this week, and they remain in 4th spot. We're getting a bit tighter with their the points margin between them and other teams, and they head away to third spot. Gungahlin. So a big, tough contest for them on the cards for O'Connor men. We'll stay in our nation's capital, mate. The all-conquering Canberra women, they had a rare situation on their hands. They had a 1-1 draw, don't you? It wasn't a thumping win. So it's good to see them up against it. So it's always interesting to see how they respond when things are a bit tougher. But second spot Olympic, which makes sense. But this week they're off to Belconnen, who are in 4th place. The Canberra men had a blemish this week also. A tight 1-0 loss at home to second place Gungahlin, who are now, that's right, they're now in second, and remain on top, though, by 1 point with an away trip to Belconnen this week. So there was photos shared around by Canberra, Croatia this week. Some of the juniors having a bit of a kick, and lovely to see the good weather out there for them to enjoy themselves. But you can just, I love seeing some of the technique and positioning of some of these players in the juniors and in the women's team, and you can see how, it's really concentrated, focused efforts they got there. And I like that little celebration up in that right-hand side. That was Lachlan
Very
Vikic,
acrobatic.
under 23s. So, good passion, good skill on display. And look, Canberra, Croatia, as we know, has always been a powerful, formidable team in the region.
Yeah, brilliant.
We'll head off to the Apple Isle before we have a break, mate. So Glenorchy men had a huge 4-0 win and a return to form for the Knights over Clarence Zebras. This week they're away to the top of the Apple Isle, and they're taking on Launceston City, and so they hang on to second spot right now. So they'll need to get another win just to try and claw back some of that gap. So now the Women's South Championship, they went down 3-0 to Taruna, and seventh place Nice Visit University this week, and likewise the Championship 1 side went down to Taruna 2-1, and they face South East this week. Rightio, Tonchi, that'll bring us into the break, and then when we get back, we'll head over to WA.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Josip. There's heaps more to get through there, and it is episode 22 of the Oz Cro Soccer Show. Folks, if you'd like your club featured in our Club in Focus segment, and you are a business, get in touch with us, sponsor an episode of the Oz Cro Soccer Show, and we'll get your club. There are heaps of clubs we've managed to feature this year, but there are so many more that we haven't had the opportunity to do so. But absolutely, look, we'd love to have you guys on board. Now, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we do return, once again, it's part 2 of the Oz Cro Soccer scene. Don't go away, folks. Okay,
Welcome back.
time for part 2 of the Oz Cro Soccer scene. Josip, take it away.
Breaking news, Tunji. I have news from over in Croatia from one Joe Chaleta, who says he'll bring back a pallet of Karlovačko if Sydney United win their cup matches. If
There
there's
you
a
go.
beer shortage will be complete, and he'll bring it all in for the celebration. So there's a good one for the incentive for the Sydney United boys.
Well. The stakes have just gone up in the Australia Cup. I was going to say the Australia Croatia Cup. That will be happening, by the way, later on in the year, and coincidentally in Sydney at the King Tom Club and at Sydney United. So we look forward to finding out more and more information about that as we approach. But breaking news, there you go. Now, there's more breaking news as well, Josip. There's something to do with memberships and something to do with the West.
Hey,
I'm
I'm claiming this, and I've let the boys over in the Western Knights know. Western Knights, what happened is last week I decided to take out a couple of memberships around Australia, and I do this from time to time. I'll go to different clubs and take out memberships, and I decided this year one of them was going to be Western Knights, and my membership ticket arrived, and that night Western Knights had a 2-1 win over Joondalup, and now they're back in second spot before their away trip to Forestfield, mate. So there you go. I'm taking the
win. Lucky charm. Speaking of the Western Knights, they had a corporate function or corporate lunch on the weekend, and they've also got a sportsman's night coming up. So there's a lot happening there at Western Knights. Tell us a little bit more about what's going on over there.
Yeah, so it's just an opportunity for the supporters and members and sponsors to get together and talk about sports performance and what's required at a club at a community level such as Western Knights, but also how to rise to perform at the higher levels. So they'll have Fremantle Dockers CEO Simon Garlick, and as well as Alex Novatsis. He's from Football West, and we'll have the incomparable Dean Zlendich, the president of Western Knights, who speaks so eloquently about his club and his community with a lot of pride and passion, and we look forward to that being a massive event for Western Knights over at Coogee Beach Surf Lifesaving Club on the 29th of July. Get your tickets in early. You can call 0408 006 580 or 0411 114 985. Get in early.
Yeah, in exactly 1 month's time that's going to be held. And on the weekend there, you can see on the right-hand side a photo of the corporate sponsors lunch that they had also prior to their game there last weekend. So a lot happening. Over to Guelph, Croatia in Perth.
Yeah, so Guelph women had a 0-0 draw with Quins this week. They're away to Freo. The men had another loss, unfortunately, this time to Sorrento in second last, and that gap's getting a little bit larger to third last now, grown to 9 points after Coburn drew in the weekend. The challenge grows even further as they face third place Bayswater, who knocked Western Knights out of the Australia Cup, mate. But they do have a big event on for the community to get together. They've got a quiz night on the 30th of July. So why not book your tickets into the Western Knights for the supporters lunch? The next day, get together for a quiz night with Guelph, Croatia over at the club. Tickets $25, maximum 10 per table, and have yourself a whole lot of fun and win some prizes along the way. Get your tickets to Flora Denona on 0417 981 463.
Awesome work. Now across the Nullarbor Plains, we go to South Australia, home of the Vukovi and the Raiders, Adelaide, Croatia.
Adelaide, Croatia, unfortunately had a heavy loss, mate. A 5-1 loss to State 1 powerhouse Modbury Jets. They're clinging on to fifth spot for now and needing some form injection. But however, this week their battle gets even tougher still. They take on another strong outfit in Adelaide Blue Eagles. Adelaide women had a heavy loss as well, mate. They went down 7-0 to Croydon this week. Playing East Adelaide on the weekend. Vukovi, seems like heavy losses was the theme of the weekend for our South Australian brothers and sisters. The Vukovi 4A went down 9-2 and the 4B went down 9-5 to Barossa. So maybe while Barossa was around, they could have partaken in some good vino and maybe made it a better afternoon for them.
Yeah, maybe. Now, there's speaking of fundraisers, there seems to be a lot of fundraisers happening. There's one happening at the Croatian Sports Centre there in Adelaide.
Tonchi, I'm calling it out. I'm winning this. I've bought myself I bought myself a ticket to this. It's on at the same time as North Geelong's one. I'm winning one of them.
Come on, you got to win at least one of them. At
Get
least
in.
one.
Get on Adelaide Croatia's Facebook site, and the link can take you straight there so you can purchase your ticket online, which is a real smart way to do it. Last one standing, $100 ticket, and there's only 150 tickets and $5,000 major prize. So why not be a part?
Yeah, there's heaps going. And as you mentioned, North Geelong is also having their last man standing after this Saturday's match. There's a lot happening down at North Geelong. But before we do go on to that, let's talk about the NPL Victoria competition. We're lucky that we've got 3 Croatian clubs and possibly 4 next year. We'll talk a bit more about that. But it was time for the all-Croatian derby, Melbourne Knights versus St Albans Dinamo. We got a little bit of footage there as well. Tell us about what went on in Victoria.
It was a good match for the larger part of the game, mate. I sat back and enjoyed it. I got a nice goal to new signing George Ott. Got the Melbourne Knights off to a good 1-0 lead, but then a little bit of concentration lap there in the second half. Adam Heidel meeting a lofted ball from wide of the box to header away. Once the scores got to 1-1, it became a little bit of ping pong. It was up and down the field. There was either side could have snuck a late winner. So it was good to see the contest hotly contested. So it's one of a better phrase there.
Yeah.
But look, it was good to see both teams out there. A bit of a crowd start to form, I can see in the stands, but better than the previous week. So well done for the people who braved the cold winter's nights, and hopefully they got themselves a bit of entertainment afterwards in the club rooms as well. The 9th place Knights, they head to 12th place Hume City. If they want to continue their winning form, they could start edging their way closer to that top 6 area for a possibility of a playoff. The Knights women, though, a heavy defeat for them, 8-0 down to Preston Lions.
Oof, that would have hurt.
Yeah, definitely. And they're facing Whitehorse United this week, is another strong unit. St Albans, as we discussed, with Melbourne Knights at a 1-1 draw. The 11th place Dinamo, they after 2 draws now, after having 3 losses on the trot, now 2 draws on the trot. A little bit of a form swing. You can call that a form swing because you've stopped the rot. You've now sort of steadied the ship a bit. But they need to stay away from that relegation battle is what their aim is. And their attention turns to a team who they've had success over in the past in Heidelberg. So they beat them first time around, and I like the way they went about that game. They really sat back and waited for their opportunities to get them on the break, and they did that well. I'm not sure if that'll work second time around, but good luck to Crooney and the guys. The women's team, they're not having a good patch of form, though. They're 3-1 loss to Hoppers Crossing this week, and they're away to Brunswick City to try and get themselves up the ladder a bit.
Now, we're hearing some breaking news and some sad news actually out of St Albans Dinamo. I've just heard something in the last maybe hour or so that Ivan Chanchar has passed away. I'm not too sure if he was sick or anything like that, but I did see something on Miro Janic's Facebook page, and he was expressing his condolences. So if that is the case, to everyone down at Dinamo, it has been a rough year, hasn't it, down at Dinamo? And Pokon Ivan was an absolute icon of the club. Yeah. So that's what we're hearing, and there's no reason to think otherwise. But
if you've ever been to Dinamo and you saw a guy about 5'6", 5'7", wearing the white mantil, and usually cleaning the rod from the Rajan, because he's just peeled a pig or a lamb off it. That was Ivan Chanchar, and he was the most hospitable man you'll ever see. If he ever saw you on your own by chance, he'd just peel you away and take you up to the VIP section and feed you to the gills, made you drink until you fell over. The most warm, hospitable person you're ever going to meet. And like a lot of our community people in that generation, look, my heart goes out to his family. Our condolences to the family, but also to one of his dear friends, Pio. I know Pio and him, they're like brothers. They went to school together.
Yeah. So some sad news coming out of St Albans Dinamo camp this evening. Yeah. Well, I guess it wasn't a positive note, but there was a positive and there was a negative at the Frank
Dandy.
Holohan Reserve
Yeah.
at Dandy City. Tell us all about that, Josip.
Yeah, they need to battle away to lift themselves away from the auto relegation spots, but unfortunately they went down 3-1 in their Dandenong derby to Thunder. But the special moment of the day was great recognition for a special family. Now, I&D Constructions, as we know, sponsors many clubs and communities, and always there for the community. And Ivan and Karta Filipovic were being recognised for their mammoth effort they have put into the club of Dandy City, previously Hajduk Chelsea. They've named the grandstand after them in recognition of that effort, and they're ever present for not just for the club, Tonch, but they're ever present for the entire Croatian community, north, east, west, and south, mate. So congratulations, Dandy, on recognising that. And congratulations to Ivan and Karta Filipovic for the work that you do. It's outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are able to go to the Dandenong City Facebook page, there's a little bit of a video clip there as well with Ivan and Kathy Filipovic as well. Absolute icons. And it's not just something they've been there in the last couple of years supporting the club. They've been there through thick and thin when the club was known as Chelsea Hajduk in Edithvale Reserve. And that now it's Dandenong City.
Around the old velodrome.
Yes, remember those days? Yeah. Goodness me, that's going back a while. Yeah. Now, our hometown club, North Geelong, a lot happening at North Geelong. We're talking about they've opened up a 5-point gap at the top of the NPL 2 standings. 7 games to go. Everyone's starting to talk about promotion, and if Dandenong City can save their skin, Dinamo and Melbourne Knights, obviously, we could have 4 Croatian clubs in next season's NPL Victoria.
And the way they're going about it, Tonchi, there's no reason to think otherwise, mate. This 5-1 win over Goulburn Valley Suns was one where you thought to yourself at some point in the game that maybe GVS has found a way to hold the score off at 1-1, because there was a couple of early goals both ways. But the cream rises to the top, and you had a couple of goals from scoring machine Caleb Nikolic returning to the lineup. Luka Jurkovic put one in. And also Nelson Salvatore, who's now starting to make a habit of scoring. So, with this weekend's game up against Brunswick City, they'll be looking to extend that lead if any possibility, because between now and at 3 weeks' time, they start to play the lower sides.
Mm-hmm.
But the other sides, Pascoe, Moreland, and Bulleen all play each other in that period. So, look, it's going to be an interesting last 7 games, mate.
Here's an opportunity for the Warriors to pull away from the rest of the pack, but also these are the ones where you win the league. It's you're coming up against the good teams. You get motivated. You get very, very motivated. It's the games against the lowly opposition, and you can't, as they say in Croatian, kick sati. You can't afford to drop a point. You really, really need to just keep on doing very well here. Yeah. Interesting thing today, Josip, Football Australia announced its domestic calendar. From October 2022 to 2023. And it's interesting, as of Saturday, the 4th of February, I think all the NPL leagues around Australia are set to kick off around about the same time, if I'm not mistaken. That means, obviously, it means all of the Croatian clubs in NPL competition Australia-wide will kick off quite earlier than a lot of the other community competitions. So it just means, like, for example, North Geelong's case, they kicked off March 19, I think, this year.
March this year, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be 6 weeks earlier. And in some cases, some of the NPL leagues, I think the ACT League kicked off early April or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
even Sydney was a bit later, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be very, very interesting next year. So we're going to have a very short summer break and straight into the football and bitcha summer soccer, as they say.
Still on North Geelong, though, mate. Look, we have to say farewell and thank you to Noah Skorka, who departs for Croatia.
There he is on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yep. So initially he'll be no doubt enjoying some of the summer activities, but then concentrating on his football career. We don't know destinations or clubs to announce at this point in time, Tunchi, but we do want to wish Noah as well as the rest of his family, every success in life, and they are fantastic family contributors to the Croatia community and our dear club, North Geelong.
Absolutely.
I do hear there's a able replacement in the pipeline. I'm not sure about the name just yet, but little murmurs are making me excited about who there might be. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jump the gun, and ruin anything. But I'm really
That's
excited.
right. It hasn't been announced by the club, but the rumor is that there could be let's just say prodigal son returning. But there is going to be an announcement made before the weekend, possibly as early as Thursday by the club, which is tomorrow, obviously. And I do believe in the Geelong Advertiser on Friday there will be a story about that as well, both Noah's departure and the arrival of a new player who's basically a direct swap. So you can join the dots if you're there. You can pop it in the chat section if you like, but pretty exciting stuff there. Now, also that's really exciting is North Geelong Warriors women. They came up against a team called Latrobe Uni, whom they lost 3-2, I think, early in the season. I think it might have been round one. Well, things have changed for the better down at Alco Park.
Turned it around with a 2-0 win, a real solid, testing win against Latrobe Uni. And we know the uni sides in the women's comps all around Australia. They're always hard. They're good. They've got lots of numbers because of the type of setup they got. But according to one Jasmine Zilic, the dressing room was lit with happy faces and excitement after this one because they just knew how much it meant to get over the top of Latrobe Uni and puts them in fourth spot so they can keep hunting for that opportunity to get themselves into the VPL.
Yep. There we go. There's a ladder on. They're currently in fourth position. They want to get into third position or higher by season's end because I'm told the top three from Northwest and the top three from Southeast will then get promoted to VPLW, where the Melbourne Knights women are currently. So once again, we could have multiple Croatian teams in the VPLW. Now, that is one tier below NPLW, which is also set to expand by 4 teams. There's a lot of emphasis being put on women's football at the moment, and rightly so. And with news today that the A-League Women's is expanding by 1 team next year and then 2 teams the following year, longer season. There's going to be obviously a lot more emphasis being put on the various NPLW competitions,
right?
Which means clubs like Melbourne Knights, North Geelong, St Albans Dynamo have got a team in VPL, in State League 2, I think. It's now those clubs have got a couple of years now to really get their house in order, get some good recruits, get some good juniors through the system, and to make a real concerted effort into pushing for a Croatian team in the NPLW in years to come. So that would be absolutely fantastic if that does happen. Moving along to Split now. We've really got to run through this.
Yeah, no worries. Strathmore Split women. They went down 2-1 to Diamond Valley. They host Wetsonia on Sunday. The men, a 1-1 draw, a gutsy 1-1 draw with Essendon. They host Yarraville to continue their better second half of the year. Congratulations to Strathmore Split, who just got announced in their council grants that they're going to get resurfaced, thankfully. As we've heard a couple of times, they've had training cancelled, they've had match cancels, but great to see that they're going to be resurfaced. So congratulations to Jimmy Tabakis and Stipik and the gang over there who've organised that. The Div 2 Metro guys, a 3-3 draw with Craigieburn. No match this week with catch-ups occurring. And the Masters, a dour 0-0 draw. I'm not referring to sexy football anymore until I see Over to Gorspitch, the Division 2 second place Bears. They beat North Sunshine 5-2. I think that's a reversal of their first time around, don't you? So well done to the Bears. And 5-2 was a catchy theme for them this week because their Masters had a 5-2 win over Westphale as well. So and they climb into second spot now. Vukovar defeated Oromia 7-1 and NK Bunker defeated Pegs 4-0. And they sit in first and second respectively. And that will do it for the nation's
brings us to the end. Yeah, we've got lots of news happening. We haven't even touched on what's happened overseas, any of the recruits. Locally, though, speaking, Tommy Juric has now made the Croatian contingent at Melbourne Victory one bigger. He joins Tony Popovic, Johnny Didlitz, the football operations manager, Matthew Spiranovic, Luka. Who else have we got there? I'm not even going to start trying to name them now. There's too many there. But Tommy Juric has signed down at Melbourne Victory after crossing from Macarthur Rams. Bit of an exodus happening at the Rams, obviously. And also, I believe Tomislav Mrčela has re-signed at Western Sydney Wanderers. So no doubt there's going to be a lot more news happening as the weeks progress and get closer and closer to the A-League season kicking off. Well, our focus tonight is going to be on NPL in New South Wales. There's a lot happening there, and our featured club is Sydney United, Sydney, Croatia, of course, as we know them. And we'll be joined on the other side of this break by father and son duo, the coach Miro Vlastelica and the captain Adrian Vlastelica. They'll be joining us very, very shortly. Folks, don't go away. We'll be back very, very soon.
Cro Imports brings you the finest taste of Croatian beer, spirits and wine. Let your taste buds feel the years of nurtured produce and years of experience in producing some of the best beer and wines from Croatia. Established over 10 years ago and importing various wines, spirits and beers from Croatia, we stock the following products: Osječko pivo, Staro Češko and Velebitsko beers, all naturally crafted brews. We carry a wide range of shortcut spirits, which is renowned for top quality and has won numerous awards for its traditionally produced spirits. Some of these include Šljiva, Viljamovka, Kajsije, Višnja, Orahovac and Medovača. We also have wines ranging from the Ilok region in Slavonia, Belje wines from the Danube region, Malvazija from Istra, and the Palihnic branded Plavac Mali and Poship wines from the Dalmatian coast. Our mission is simple: to ensure that quality, unique and reasonably priced Croatian goods can be enjoyed right here in Australia. We also cater for special gift packs for customers, be they birthdays, christenings, weddings, etc. It's easy to order online, or you can telephone us to arrange a special package. Visit our website at www.ozcro.com.au, like our Facebook page Oz Cro Imports, or you can contact us by calling 0419 44 55 18 or email sales@ozcro.com.au.
Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show, episode 22. We talked a lot about North Geelong prior to the break in the news. North Geelong Soccer Club was the featured club in our sister podcast, the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Just on Monday gone by, we had two wonderful club people. The junior operations manager, Aaron Bailey, who is a Mr. Fix-It. He's sort of married into the family, so to speak. He's a Croatian Zet, Hrvatski Zet, as they call him. Yeah. And the man does absolutely everything with regards to the juniors, the NPL juniors, the Elko Park Cardinals, the affiliate. It was really interesting chatting to him, to Aaron, and also Amanda Jakic, who comes from a very, very rich stock. The royalty, the Jakic family is down at North Geelong. Her father Vlada was the captain. He was the president of the club for a few years. Yeah, and Amanda is an amazingly talented young female footballer. She's only 16, has broken into the senior team, and she was also the captain of the under-18 Geelong representative team, which won first place at the Victorian Country Championships that was held a couple of weeks ago in Geelong. So if you want to watch that episode in full, go to the Geelong Region Soccer Show YouTube channel or the Facebook page. And it was also simulcast here on the Oz Cro Soccer Show channel on Monday. But mate, it's now time to call our guests. Would you like to do the honours, Josip?
Sure thing. My pleasure. We'd like to welcome to our show on episode 22 the coach of Sydney United and captain of Sydney United, Miro and Adrian Vlastelica. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us. Thank you for having us.
Good evening, gents. How are we all? Looking very, very happy there. Is that maybe because who you've drawn in the Australia Cup, the round of 32? Miro, let's talk about that first. Is that a good a good opponent? Would you have preferred an A-League opponent, or can that come a little bit later on in the closing stages?
Yeah, look, we're happy for anyone, mate. It's always good to get an A-League opponent early as well, like, get some crowd in and whatnot. But look, Monaro's a good team as well. Like, they're doing well in their league, and I think it will be an interesting game. I'm just happy that we're not travelling down there in the middle of July, freezing Canberra.
Yeah, you might have to take your skis with you.
Yeah. But no, it'll be a good game.
That's the way. Good. Miro, congratulations on taking the helm at Sydney United. The guys got off to quite a reasonable start at the start of the year, but started to sort of fall away. And I guess that eventuated to someone having a conversation with you to bring you back into the fold. Is that pretty much how it's sort of panned out?
Yeah, basically, look, the boys had a rough start to the season, and I think halfway through, I had a phone call from Sam and Mark asking me to come back and help out and try get them back on track, and I was happy to do so. Like, it's always hard watching your home team and especially a Croatian team struggling at some point in the season.
Yeah, good. Well done for responding to the call, mate.
Yeah.
And how have you found it? How is the motivation there? The players, that are they sort of starting to kind of come along to your way of your playing, your style, your coaching style, all of that? How are things sort of in the dressing room?
Oh, look, Tonchi, it was like I was there previously, as you guys know, and like I knew, like I know most of the boys, and there are a few new faces there. But most are familiar with me, and I'm familiar with them as well. So coming back wasn't as difficult as what I thought it would be. It was more so putting a smile back on their faces and just get them enjoying football again. That's what it was about, and we managed to do that, and results started coming our way. And like it's still a work in progress. I come in, there was boys carrying injuries and whatnot, and just trying to field like a solid team each week has been difficult. But in saying that, it's given a lot of opportunity to a lot of young kids that have played and debuted in first grade. We've got Nick Zilic.
Yep.
That debuted, and I think he was 15 years of age. You've got him on the screen now. So I think that's the youngest player to debut for Sydney United.
Now, that's a famous name. Is that any relation to David Zilic, the legendary Sydney United footballer?
Yeah, that's David's nephew.
That nephew, is it? Yep.
Yeah. So I think Nick was playing in our 18s. That's coached by Shannon Cole.
Western Sydney player before,
Yeah. And he was already training with first grade to an extent when I got there, but I've sort of made him a permanent fixture with the first team, and a couple of other young boys as well. So, getting back to what I was saying, like, with the injuries and whatnot, it's opened the doors for these young boys, which has been good. And that's what Sydney United's always been known for as well, giving these young kids the opportunity.
Adrian, from a player's perspective, when you see a move like that from a coach, irrespective of the fact that it's your dad there, when you see a move like that by a coach to go into the youth and say he's going to come up and do a job for us, what does that do for the dressing room? Rise the level of expectancy, excitement? What do you think?
I think it does put a bit of pressure on us older players as well, knowing that we got some young and upping talented kids coming through. So it keeps us on our toes. They've got a lot of energy. They all bring a lot of energy. They're good kids. So, and obviously they got quality. They wouldn't be there. So it does bring the mood up. They're always positive. Doesn't matter if they make a mistake or not. They're young, so they're full of energy and they'll go again. So overall, when these young kids come up, it just it makes it better for everyone there.
Good. Adrian, when the young kids do come into the into the seniors dressing room, and they get given an opportunity, as kind of like guys who have been there a little bit longer, dare I say, use the term veterans because you're not that old, but do you give these kids a sort of a initiation of fire? Do you give them a baptism of fire? Do you sort of try and toughen them up and, like the old school, they play jokes in them and toughen them up? Or do you, nurture them? Are they a little bit softer these days? Do you have to take them under your wing?
No, we're pretty good with them, especially the older boys that have been around longer than me as well. Pass on their experiences and whatnot to these younger boys. There's always a few jokes going around as per normal, so that hasn't stopped, but not too hard on the young boys. But I'm sure if we have a team dinner or something in the next coming weeks, they'll be up on a chair singing their initiation songs in the restaurant.
Very good.
That hasn't changed. I'll be under pressure there.
That's the way. Look, Adrian, how long have you been part of the first team setup now?
So this is my 5th year at Sydney United. Since coming over from RPL Leichhardt in the first team. So yeah, it's been good. All 5 years has been successful. Competing for trophies every year, winning one, been in a couple of grand finals. Obviously this year in the league, not where we want to be, but semi-final of the Waratah Cup to come next week, and yeah, as we saw tonight, the draw in the Australia Cup. So still trophies to be won.
Now, just on that, with your 5 years at Sydney United, and we all know for the fabled story of Sydney United, and the expectation has been, and as Miro alluded to before, Sydney United, let's be frank, we're known for producing talent over the years. When you came over, did you feel that little bit extra pressure? One, because it's Sydney United. Two, because it's a Croatian club and it's linked up with your father as well. Does it just put a little bit more pressure on, or does it just make the heart pound harder?
I think a bit of both. So obviously being Croatian, I've grown up going to watch Sydney United back in the end of the NSL, start of the State League. So playing there is like, everything you've always wanted to do. But obviously we've probably got the biggest fan base in the NPL, so that's an added pressure as well, that you're not used to playing at, other clubs in the NPL where there's not as many fans, but we've got a great support out at home when we play there. So when Jason, who was the coach back then, and Sam approached me to come across, it was an honour.
Yeah. Miro, we talked about a lot happening at the club as far as the cup competitions. We've got the Waratah semi-finals there, so that's going to be happening next Wednesday. As we talked about, the Australia Cup fixture tonight. And in the background of all of this is the talk or the speculation of a national second division as well. Has it been sort of hard to keep the players focused on the task at hand, the games? Or, is there a lot of distractions and, one eye's on the Waratah Cup final, one eye's on the Australia Cup final, one eye's maybe next year playing in a possible national second division? How do you go about trying to clear all the noise and just getting the players to focus on the job at hand?
Tonchi, our approach to it is we just focus on game at a time. So whatever's ahead of us this week, we worry about that. Like that's our approach at the moment. But obviously, like you're planning, like we've got a game next Wednesday in the Waratah Cup. So we're looking at this weekend. We're looking at we're sort of still in the league to make semis. It's going to be difficult, but we're not out of it yet. So then you got to weigh up, like, you want players fresh for Wednesday. But my biggest challenge to date has been, like I said, I haven't had my strongest team yet because I'm nursing players back from injury. You're trying to keep them, trying to give them minutes, trying to get them back. But also because players, especially some of the older boys, are playing more games than what they're probably accustomed to.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep them fresh, which has been hard. And it's not only me, I'm sure it's every other NPL coach, with all the other Croatian clubs. It's, these boys have got day jobs, digging trenches, carrying Gibraltar sheets, wiring houses. And then they come to us at the night, and the last thing you want to do is now, push them and not when I say push them, but you can't drive them as hard as what you probably want to, because then come the weekend they're fried, and you get nothing out of them. So that's the challenge for me with our club at the moment. But I just focus on a game at a time. But yeah, you do have a little bit in the back of your mind what's coming up next week. And it's been hard. Like I look at the last month, the amount of football we've played. We chatted about our training the other night. We haven't even had a proper training week as such, where you play on the weekend, you come in, do a recovery session, and then you play midweek, recovery session, weekend again, and it's been difficult. But look, credit to the team. It's the boys have stood up to every challenge, and they go out and they leave everything on the park. And I can't ask any more than that from this group.
Adrian, I was going to say, Adrian, bearing that in mind, like what Miro has just said, the fact that you're playing so many games and there's so much more commitment required, has that actually brought the squad together? You're spending so much time together and you're playing a lot more competitive games. Has that actually brought galvanised the team spirit a lot more within the dressing rooms?
I think it has, on the back of the struggles we had in the middle of the year, to play so many games sort of back to back after that and get some good results. I think we were 9 games, including cups, undefeated. So we had a bit of momentum going, into last week. But yeah, we're a close bunch of boys. Everyone, gets along well and whatnot. So, we just keep fighting and working hard and keep going, I guess, one game at a time, even though, got big games coming up.
Stuff. The question for either of you, you've had a bit of a cycle of games where you've gone through the cups and the league competition, right? And then we think about the cup. You had a real massive affair with Hurstville Zagreb, which would have been wonderful for yourselves because you don't get an opportunity for a Crow derby too often in Sydney. And then you have that wonderful attendance and warm hospitality, and then you have to go to a game like Rockdale where it's closed doors. Bonnie Rig coming up is a closed doors. What does that feel like for you guys preparing? And when you come on the pitch, when you're expecting a little bit of noise and fanfare, and then just crickets, do you find that you, like a captain and a coach, have to sort of rise to the occasion a bit more?
I think it's a bit more like sort of not a training session. Like, it's still competitive, but it's it's not ideal for anyone. Like, you like the crowd, you like the noise. Like, you score it. We scored on the weekend, and it's just you just hear yourselves. There's no one cheering you on and whatnot. It's like great training, but
you want the 12th man there, basically.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Our supporters, they know how to give opposition a hard time. So.
That's exactly what we're renowned for around the country, mate. So I like it.
It's you need to have supporters. It's crazy. It's I'm sure there's ways to work things out, and the federation could organise things a little bit better, I think, and not just put it back at the clubs and ban the supporters. And it's my God, imagine they had to deal with some of the games in Europe here. Like,
I don't know how they'd manage that. Yeah,
the PC police would be.
I know how. Yeah, absolutely. Now, Adrian.
Just to wrap up on that, do you guys know how much longer you got to do these bans? Or I heard some of the Rockdale one was over.
I think last year when everything all happened, I think they said it was for last year's competition with Rockdale. Like, we wouldn't have played them. We would have played them behind closed doors, and I think this season. But from reading what they send out, the suspensions or whatever you want to call them, I think it was just for this year. So hopefully next year.
Okay, good.
Things are back to normal.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Now, Adrian, you're a centre back. You're a tall centre back, and you're very, very good at what you do. But there's talk that you're going to actually consider changing positions. There's been some footage taken of you in the goals now. Now this is we're going to talk about this. A good friend of ours, Ante Grabovac from up in Sydney, has put this has sort of sent a couple of photos through. Now his son Adam Grabovac was playing at this game. There we go. And Adrian, you came along and have actually really made someone's dream come true. And there's the Zagreb Hurstville, and he plays for, I think, St. George Dragons.
St. George Warriors.
St. George Warriors, is that right? There you go. Tell us about your experiences that day. It's almost like making people's dreams come true.
So I went out to watch Adam, who's probably our biggest supporter at every game, home, away, even North Taramara against Northern Tigers on a Wednesday night a couple of weeks ago in the FA Cup. Was out there, so I thought, why not go support Adam on the week a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday. And as I get there, speaking with Ante, and their coach goes, "Oh, we're short a player today. Can Zagreb play a man down?" And like, "Oh, can you jump in goals?" I said, "All right, I'll stand in goals. I'll have a laugh, and I'll stay behind Adam, and I give him a few calls, and there I am in my white shoes and trackies in goals."
Oh, jeez.
I
love it.
No, they got the win, so the boys are happy. That's the main thing. So,
yeah.
And there we go. There's Ante Grabovac's social media post when Adam Grabovac's favourite player comes to watch him play against Hurstville Zagreb, and his team is short a player, and his favourite player ends up playing in goal. Sydney United FC captain Adrian Vlastelica, absolute legend and great sport. In the car on the way home, Adam's quote was, "A dream came true for me today playing with my favourite player." Well done to the Zagreb boys for playing the game in the right spirit against the St. George Warriors. Now, that is absolutely fantastic. That's what it's all about. And, mate, well done for making someone's dream come true. But that is just absolutely awesome. Geez, we've had a real warm and fuzzy episode tonight, haven't we, Josip?
Oh, we have. But I've got a bit of a... Speaking of warm and fuzzy... I've been asked by one of our viewers to ask this question of Miro, Tonchi. Miro, do you still partake in a few black sambucas?
No, the colour's gone from red. Shiraz. And I think I know where that come from. Newcastle.
Yes. Our mutual friend in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Oh, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We wish you guys all the very best for the rest of the season. And, look, really looking forward to it. But, look, one other thing that I want to make a special mention of Sydney United as well. There's this team, that the starting lineup for the game against Rockdale Suns. And if you look at that, I think there's something like 5 players there of Croatian descent. And it's very rare, unfortunately, these days to find a Croatian-backed club in the NPL competition that has that many, almost half a team of players of Croatian descent. And any players that are not Croatian, we immediately adopt them, and then straight away they become half Croatians anyway. So we respect and value in all of our players. But there's something very special about when you see a kid that's come up through the ranks and then playing. So that's another thing that's, just take my hats off to Sydney United and to you guys. So that's great to see.
No, it's always brilliant. It's always good to have your own there, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gents, thank you once again for joining us on the Oz Cro Soccer Show. And remember what Joe Charletta said. He'll bring back a whole slab of beer from Croatia.
Pallet.
A pallet. Not a slab.
Yeah. We need a few more than a slab if we win.
a pallet. Well, he'll probably need to win the $60 million Powerball tomorrow night to be able to fund it, just the freight. But let's hope Joe Charletta. Actually, we're going to have Joe hopefully in the next few weeks when he gets away from his sunbathing down on the Adriatic. Hopefully, we'll get him on the show. Yeah, just not on air, isn't that right? No. That's right, gents. Thank you very much once again, and all the very best for the rest of the year.
All the best against the Olympic guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
Thanks, Tonchi.
Good on
you.
Two lovely guys, absolutely fantastic. And wasn't it a pleasure having those two guys and having a little bit of a chuckle there as well? We've had everything tonight, haven't we? We've had some lots of information, lots of good news, lots of not so good news. We've had some warm and fuzzy moments. And look at that T-shirt. hey, malo se ustaj so we can... Oh, there we go. Svi znaju, a nemaju pojma. We might actually have to open up a merchandise store because there are already people, a famous surname there, Rado Prusac, how do you get a top? He's already inquiring, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more that are going to want him to do it. What'd you say? Ordered it.
Rado, come see me on the weekend. I'm down in Vic for a few days, mate, and we'll arrange something for you.
Yeah, Totino, there you go. Mate, we've come to the end of the show, but Josip, I think we should just replay that gorgeous, adorable little under-7s player from O'Connor Knights.
Before you do, did you have that photo of Miro and Parthia that I sent you?
Oh, maybe not. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I think I do. Hang on a sec. Let's look at that.
So there's to the right of screen. That's Živka. That's Karl Živkovic from Newcastle, and then you got Miro, and then some tennis player.
I don't know who that tennis player is. God, Ivanišević, of course. Where would that have been? That would have been circa
punch bowl, early to mid 90s, in the small room.
There you go. Yeah. Fantastic. Yep. We've had lots of interesting footage and photos on our show tonight. We're going to leave you with the little boy ROMEO IVANCIC from the O'Connor Knights. This is absolutely adorable. This is gorgeous, and he's got a very important message to everyone. I mean everyone tuning into this show. Make sure you watch it to the very, very end. It only goes for about 45 seconds. But Josip, on that note, good night. Have a lovely, lovely week, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
I'll see you at Elko Park Wednesday next week. I'll see you at Elko Park Saturday.
Okay, good stuff. Looking forward to it. Laku noć, good night, folks.
Welcome to Knights TV. What is your name?
ROMEO IVANCIC.
What age grades do you play for?
Under 7s.
What are your hobbies and interests outside of football?
I don't know.
What do you do besides playing football?
Just train for the game on Saturdays.
The games on Saturdays, okay. What do you see yourself doing when you grow up?
I just see myself playing football.
Okay. And what are your strengths on the field? What do you do good?
I pass, score.
Okay. And who's your favourite O'Connor Knights teammate?
Me.
No, who's your favourite teammate? Can't be you.
Peter.
And why do you love playing for the O'Connor Knights?
Because it's a Croatian team and it's the best team in the world. No one ever beats it.
Thank you, ROMEO IVANCIC.